Okay. Well, just a quick live session, not really quick, maybe it could be longer. I'm not really doing anything today, so I'm just gonna wait for you guys to join the chat, and then we can start talking about ETH and the market and what's going on, and meme coins, and then whatever. What else do you guys want to talk about? We can talk about Doge, we can talk about SHIB, and the setups here, which are quite juicy, but we gotta talk about ETH first, of course. But yeah, first things first, if you guys can hear me, let me know. Awesome, you guys are here, welcome. For some reason, you guys see what I'm saying? Like, it shows me there's like one viewer, and then there's like 7 of you in the chat messaging, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? So anyways, cool, so you guys can hear me. Awesome. Okay, so I'm not gonna read the chat right now. I'm just gonna quickly talk about the current setups. I want to talk about scenario A. I want to talk about what exactly is going on in the market, and then we can go ahead from there and then talk about random stuff. So number one, of course, looking on Ethereum, we had a beautiful wick down to around the 30-40 range, right? So I talked about this wick before, that of course that this was the same sort of move set we were expecting, from 40.28 all the way down into 30.23, and then now the bounce opportunity. This bounce opportunity that we are seeing right now, it is very crucial. The reason why is, of course, we did take a long position on this trade, on this wick breakout. The first long scalp opportunity was here. The second long scalp opportunity was over here into 36.83. And then we pretty much didn't have a trade set up. So that's why I didn't really message this chat. We already played those long. So what I'm looking for right now on Ethereum is to see what happens on these exponential moving averages. This is going to be very key. If these levels, of course, are broken, right? So we pretty much end up rejecting this zone and breaking back below these EMAs and then retesting them as resistance, then yes, we are heading back into the $2,800 region. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that right now, and they want to hear the bullish news and yada, yada, yada. But we have to be realistic here, because you guys know these setups have played extremely well before, and we did end up playing them in terms of the BART formations on previous price analysis and the same bounce opportunities. So in terms of the current setup, this is where we are at as of right now. We are right around in this range. And of course, this is what I mean on the daily. If we had the same sort of breakout, which we did right now, if we end up breaking back below within the next 3 to 4 days, and this is my issue, right? Is if you see on the daily, we're somewhere around here within 3 days, that'll put us in the Fed meeting, right? That'll put us into the Powell speech, which is why I'm being really cautious right now. And I want to be very careful looking for long opportunities. If the market, like I said, ends up breaking below this EMA, so this daily time frame, of course, or even tomorrow's daily time frame, we end up seeing a break below those exponential moving averages, I personally will be looking for shorting opportunities back into 2,800. I talked about the midterm support levels, how I don't necessarily think we will just randomly go parabolic in the midterm support. And that's what I mean, is we won't necessarily just go from this level down here and then start just continuing back into all-time highs. That, of course, is all dependent on 36.83. If that level is broken and then used as support, then yes, it's an invalidation zone. But if that level, of course, ends up breaking from here, then unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be a lot more painful here shortly. And the same thing goes again for Bitcoin as well, right? Bitcoin, you can see we have a beautiful breakout. We had the exponential moving averages being used as support, but on the 4-hour time frame, we're just not seeing that volume come into the market as of right now. We need to break all-time high here, or of course, if we fall back into the 63K region, then yes, something like this could easily play out. And that's the problem, right? When you're trading the larger time frames, these things tend to be extremely choppy, and a lot of people get emotional trying to figure out what exactly is happening. All we really need to do is just zoom out and just focus more on the EMAs, because when the EMAs were, of course, in terms of using support, everyone was bearish and we were just entering longs over and over and over until the EMAs broke below. And now you can see they once flipped from support to resistance, then we became bearish, and now everyone else is bullish. And then I had someone comment like, oh, you know, on Doge, for example, there was like some inverse head and shoulder, and he was saying, oh, you don't ever talk about the inverse head and shoulder like every other analysis does. And it's like, yeah, dude, I don't want to be like every other analysis guy. The reason why I do extremely well in my trades is because I'm not following the crowd. We trade differently, and the reason why we trade differently is because a lot of traders miss these setups and they go for the overall perspective. Sure, you could have like an inverse bar or the inverse head and shoulder pattern like this, but then all it takes is something like this, and there goes your inverse head and shoulder, right? Like it literally just breaks down like this, and then you're pretty much being like, oh, what the hell, man? I had the perfect setup. And you guys already know this, is I don't sit there and teach you guys about head and shoulder patterns and triangles and all these things, is because that's retail trading. That's literally what retail trading is. You go type on YouTube and you'll find the first 50 articles or videos talking about asymmetrical triangles, head and shoulder patterns, candlestick formations. Like, you know, no one's going to teach you there about bar formations. No one's going to talk about that kind of stuff. Again, because a lot of retail traders barely understand how to even plot a head and shoulder, let alone how to do it on a effective time frame, right? I've had people message me like, oh, there's a 15-minute head and shoulder pattern. And I'm like, dude, like, what's the point? What exactly are you trading here? So regardless of that, you know, and this is the same sort of situation, right? Like and this is the beauty of trading, is that you might see a head and shoulder pattern being formed. I see an M formation being formed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just stuff, like, I'm just giving an example, but that's pretty much how I see things, right? It's like, and that's the fun part of trading, is you get to prove other people wrong. And if you're wrong, it is what it is, right? You learn from that. But realistically, most times that I have told you guys these scenario A's, and again, I will give you guys the example. And I think, I don't know if I don't think there's many of you in that were part of the channel a long time ago, but there was once upon a time scenario A. This is a long time ago. This is back when ETH was trading around, I think, on 1421. And you can go through my live sessions. If you click on the first 2 weeks, I think you might find a video of scenario A. And scenario A was this scenario right here. This was the same scenario A back in that we ended up trading on Ethereum, right? So this is from the previous bull run. We had a beautiful breakout, and then here's scenario A again. The same sort of situation that we're in right now. This ended up playing once again. The same sort of level. Look at this. So huge capitulation right here. We had a breakdown. 1421 was a major support. We entered longs at 1421. Why did we do that? Well, because I went back in the chart and I said, okay, market is cascading, right? So this is August of 2022, and market was cascading, and I was like, like, I've seen this before. And again, where did I see this before? Oh, well, I saw it right here. I saw the same sort of bullshit right here. And I said, okay, this is now considered scenario A. And scenario A played perfectly. Like, it was perfect. And that's what I'm saying. Like, these are the things that I notice in the charts that I try to pay attention to. And I try to explain to you guys that, yes, if scenario A were to play out, then yes, 2,800 is going to be a generational wealth opportunity for a lot of you guys that are, of course, liquid or have some cash. I know a ton of you guys have messaged me that you guys did end up taking some stables at 4,000, which is totally fine. If you want to take stables, I highly suggest anyways, long term, that you should have some stable cash just in case the markets do see a corrective move. But right now, in terms of Ethereum and the overall market, is we're in a deciding standpoint. And it's not that I'm bearish and I want to see this market fail, guys. I've been doing this for 7 years. Like, I want to succeed, of course, like everyone else, in terms of breakouts and everything else. And I want to see, you know, as Ethereum goes up, my portfolio goes up too. But I have to also be realistic for those that are in size of this channel and those that have a few $1 million and are trading, depending on what I say. I need to watch out for those kind of people too, right? So I have to give everyone a perspective, and whether you like it or not, then don't watch this channel. But you guys have to understand that these things happen, and this price analysis has to go off the daily time frames in order for us to see any sort of confirmations. And right now is what I'm waiting for. Like, to me, this isn't a good sign for Ethereum. We had a beautiful W formation. We saw some profit taking, but if we wanted to see any sort of fake out, we of course we have to hold above these EMAs. If we're going to see a fake out, it should be something like this. But if the market ends up seeing something like this, then are you prepared for that situation? And guess what? Again, we have a few more days until Jerome Powell speaks, and, you know, like, realistically, am I going to be a part on that side trying to figure out the 50-50 trade, right? So what do we got here? What is this? Powell's speech is going to be on the 29th. Yeah, so it's about 3 days away. In 3 days, the markets are going to go absolutely volatile. Am I really trying to catch these moves up here? No, hell no. Hell no. I don't care if these coins are going up like 3%, 5%, 10% a day. Oh, Pingu, you missed your trade opportunity. I don't care. Like, I really don't, because guess what? The overall perspective is I was there when the Fed meetings happened. I was there when the markets capitulated and we saw an insane 4-hour candlestick. I'm not about to be on the end of that trade again, right? So I'm not interested in those kind of trades. I would much rather wait for the noise to complete and then come back and try to figure it out. But that's just a realistic perspective for me, at least. So what I'm paying attention to, like I said, is to see how these EMAs play out as of right now. If we break structure above and then use this level as support, then yes, it's a bullish confirmation. We are going to be looking for long positions then back into 40.28. But to put into perspective, and this is what I mean by patience, is okay, you're seeing this breakout as of right now. You know, you see your favorite coins going up 10-15%, but on Ethereum, you don't have any confirmation. So what's the worst thing you can possibly do? I'll give you both perspectives. The worst thing you can possibly do from a bullish perspective is, of course, you enter a long position here, market ends up seeing this M formation complete, and now you're cascade down to 2,800, and you're gonna be like, well, what the hell, my bags are down. Or, of course, from a bearish perspective, right, you start entering your shorts too early right here, market structure breaks back above, bounces on 36, and then rushes back to all-time high, and now you're underwater again. This is what I call a deciding factor. And a deciding factor, you have to be cautious, right? What you want to pay attention to is confirmation. Confirmation on ETH on the 4-hour, break above, support, break down, resistance. That's literally it, guys. We're talking 24 hours. All you have to do is sit on your hands right now and wait for the market structure to decide. If you really want to trade, if you really want to trade, then just trade the EMAs, right? On the EMA bounce, the initial bounce, you could have entered a long position, exited on that scalp. Now we're looking for a 20 EMA retest, right? Why? Because the 20 hasn't been tested yet. So you can look for these shorting opportunities. But again, these are just scalping opportunities, which I explained to you guys. And for those of you that joined the live session on Friday, we did it live. We literally did the trade live on Bitcoin. We did the trade live on Ethereum, and we played it absolutely perfectly, right? And that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, I can sit here and, you know, tell you guys, okay, guys, time to go long, time to go short. But these are things that you should be learning as you guys watch these live sessions, because over time, you're going to start noticing these things earlier, right? So for me right now, if I'm looking at Ethereum, I'm not looking for a bullish setup. The bullish setup already failed to me in the 4-hour time frame. What I'm looking for now is the 20 exponential moving average retest. Once that level retests and then closes above, then I can see how the market reacts. If we see a strong bullish engulfing, we can enter along on this breakout if you really want to. Of course, if the market structure continues breaking down, then great. I'm just going to ride my short, right? I'm riding my short from up here into the 20 EMA, bounces sideways, and then continues falling. Boom. I have a profitable trade from 3,500 into 2,800. And then I can collect all my tiers of all my sad boys here that are, of course, you know, crazy about their favorite coins and be like, oh, well, great. You know, you didn't listen. It is what it is. Life goes like that. And again, it's not like I'm sitting here trying to say I'm perfect, right? But at the same time, like, we traded this market extremely well for the past months, and some of you guys have, you know, seen some crazy portfolio gains. And all I'm trying to say is try not to give it back to the market based on fear of missing out or jumping ahead too early, because again, there will be dip opportunities. We saw that firsthand. 40.28 down to 3,000. A lot of your altcoins saw like 40-50% corrected moves. But again, I do think that, you know, the overall buying opportunity, if the market ends up rejecting here, would be at 2,800. It might go down, right? It might go, again, it doesn't have to sit at 2,800 perfectly and bounce back up. It could even go to 27, even 24, but that opportunity or talk can come when the market goes to that level. We can talk about that when that happens. I don't like sitting here and trying to do like, you know, future predictions of, okay, when this happens and then B, and then when B happens and C. Like, no. We're going to stick with what we see on the charts. And right now, we're not jumping ahead to, oh, you know, market's classifying at 2,800. I'm entering swing shorts. No, all we're doing is, like I said, waiting for this EMS to play out, scalping this market. If you really want to enter, you enter a short into the 20 EMA, lock in that profit, and then you exit that trade on the EMA line, right? So that makes sense. Everyone on the same page. Anyway, so let's see. I want bullish news. In your opinion, do you think Ethereum is more likely to go up or down from here? Again, like that's what I'm trying to say is like, I'm not doing those price prediction videos, right? Like I'm not trying to say like, okay, guys, Ethereum on August 17th, it's going to be trading at $14,000. Like those kind of videos are pointless. No one learns anything from that. And it's just hopium, right? That's what we call it. Like that's literally just hopium, hoping that something, you know, something pumps your bags like that. No, I'm more realistic here. And in terms of that, I do think like everything's dependent on these EMAs right now. And within 24 hours, we'll have our answer anyways. Like I'm not dying to go enter a trade right now. I'm not dying for anything in the market. You know, I'm just kind of chilling on the sidelines. And like that goes same thing for like, you know, if of course my Pudgy does end up selling. I've been thinking about this a lot. And, you know, if the Pudgy, I listed it for 120, like assuming it does end up selling for 120, I think I might just put it into stables. Like my thought process to me was, okay, maybe I'll put it into Shiba, because Shiba, again, like long term, it probably, like looking at this chart, it looks extremely bullish to me. Long term, I'm talking about from a long term perspective, right? So Shiba's all-time high was around 90. That's where during the previous bull run, but we've seen what happened to Pepe, right? Pepe broke out, had a huge continuation, and then we saw Pepe somewhere up here. So from that point, from 3 over to even, like, let's say even all-time high is 9, like that's almost a 3x guaranteed, right? So that was my thought process. I was like, okay, maybe I can do that. Or of course, even Doge from 18 cents to 76 cents at all-time high. Like these are easy trades. But what I want to be a little cautious about, of course, is this sideways action. And that's why I'm like, maybe I'll just put, I think, at least personally, what I would do at that point is I think I would put it into stables, and then sit for 2,800. If I'm wrong, great, I'll rebuy. It's not the end of the world. You guys have seen my sizings in terms of portfolio. It's not the end of the world for me. I can always re-enter. But if I'm right, then wow, right? That's a huge moment, because that should put Doge around 0.11. That should put Shiba around the 18 zone. And then you can look at it from that perspective. People are like, oh, Pingu, always bearish. Well, if you go back in the Telegram, we went long here. We went long before even retail even heard about this trade, right? Retail heard about this trade here. We were already long from here. And you guys remember, some of you guys literally made 10x your portfolios just looking for those leverage positions right here. And I was very early on spotting it, because as soon as I saw the breakout, I was like, yo, guys, this is a very easy setup in terms of previous highs. Go for the long. And the same setup now I'm talking about once again is something like this were to happen. That is going to be an insane setup. And that's what I'm going to be paying attention to right now. I'm not going to just go ahead and jump on the first green candle, right? Like we can see over the weekend, we were pretty much trading in this zone at 23, 24. Why the hell would I go look for a long position now at 31 when I know about 3 days ago, we're probably going to be right back in the same price section anyways, right? And that goes to my point. The main point is, everything is dependent on Ethereum. Your bag is not special. It's not going to just do its own thing. It's going to follow Ethereum. And if Ethereum ends up dropping, congratulations, everything is going to go with it, right? So that's why if I'm bearish on Ethereum, I'm not going to go post a bullish chart on any other altcoin. That's just dumb, and that's just simple trading. Like, you should know this if you've been in the market for a very long time, is everything runs off Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So if those two coins are going down, you might have news here and there, but realistically, your coin is going to end up correcting and falling with everything else as well. It's just how it works. Everything works the same way. It's not, your coin is just not that special. It's just, sorry to say that. But other than that, I do want to talk about ICP. That was something that I talked about, I think, in the 2 streams ago. And look at the trade setup, right? Someone asked me about ICP, and I said, yo, like, I would be a buyer in this level right now, because if this market structure ends up breaking at 16, most likely we head up into the 22 zone. We got a wick into 20 this morning. It was a beautiful trade, a breakout in terms of, and again, like, these kind of trade setups, like, I try my best to post them, or I'd rather do in the live session, because you guys can see it live and then go back to it and be like, okay, shit, Pingu did call that. And that's why. It's the same thing, the same trade setup right now. And would I be entering a long position here on ICP? Probably not, right? Because I already played the wick opportunity. I'd probably expect something like this now. So we in terms of structure, just like a education standpoint for you guys really quickly. So you can see that this level was a major resistance, right? So right here, we had a major resistance zone. When we ended up breaking out of that zone, so again, first test, second test, third test, breakout or breakdown usually. So you can see third test breakout. Now what I would be waiting for is not actually looking for a long position up here, rather falling back and then using this level as support. And that would be my confirmation of the previous resistance now turning into support, then back into the 26 region, which of course would be around the wick high. If 26 ends up breaking, then your next level in ICP would be at 38, and of course $60, and respectively 85. You get the point. You just keep going up in terms of wick highs, right? So that's pretty much how I would trade ICP. And these kind of coins I've talked about many times, is these kind of setups happen quite a bit. So again, Filecoin, same sort of setup, right? We didn't end up seeing a breakout opportunity at 1137. We need to see a breakout of that level. If that level breaks out, it's going to be exactly like ICP as well. It goes from 9 into the highs of 27. Very clean 3x opportunity, but you have to wait for 1137 to break. You cannot jump too easily ahead, because of course market structure can end up seeing a rejection, and now you're underwater or possibly liquidated because you jumped too fast. So that's just something to keep in mind as well, right? You want to be very cautious on these trades, but these swing setups, like this is what I call a swing setup. So the same thing on Shiba as well. Doesn't have to be Filecoin or specific coin. It happens on larger meme coins as well. But Shiba had the same setup. Look, I still have the box drawn out for you guys, right? Same exact setup. We were in a consolidation. We ended up breaking wick high, boom, entered the long, we played the whole move. That's it. That's literally all it comes down to, is just being patient, sitting on your hands and waiting for the market to decide what it wants to do. Once it shows its hand, you can just enter a trade. And otherwise, then yeah, just literally chill and just enjoy life, right? You don't have to sit here on the charts all day long waiting for something to happen. And we have our setup right now on Ethereum. We have the same setup, right? We have scenario A looking to play out. So scenario A, we're just going to sit and wait. Market ends up rejecting. Boom, we short 2800. We enter a long. Market could possibly go back to 24. Sure, like an extreme case scenario, possibly. But I would personally be a lot happier buying here in terms of spot positions and buying up here in terms of spot positions, right? And that's just, and like, again, worst case scenario, if it continues to drop at 24, then it's not the end of the world. We know long-term Ethereum will bounce back and we'll be fine. So that's what I mean. That's how I play my spot positions. But you have to be cautious too of your spot positions, right? I see a lot of people mess up their spot positions because what they will do is, for example, they'll enter a spot position on Ethereum at 3,800, right? They'll be like, okay, I'm buying more here. They buy more here, Ethereum goes down a little bit, then they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna cut my loss. So they end up cutting their loss. So now they have less money than what they started with. Then they rebuy here and they're like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna play back. And then it pulls back again, then they sell their loss. And like, to me, that doesn't, it's not a spot position. You're pretty much just being a degenerate. I think you're better off, like I said, with your spot positions. If they are long-term positions, you should not be touching those positions. Those positions should not be ended up testing because, of course, those are your long-term gains, right? If the market ends up correcting, then just go and buy more. If you don't have stables, then realistically, you made a mistake and that's fine. When the market ends up correcting, it's the stupidest thing, and I've seen this happen quite a bit, is like, someone will buy, for example, here at 3,700. I'm just giving an example. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's just an example. Like, go any coin, right? Someone buys at 3,700, market pulls back to 3,700, and then they close their position. It makes no sense to me. It's like, why you waited, what, 5 days, for example, for the market, or it could be months, right? You waited months, whatever, for the market to end up breaking back into your main zone. And now you're going to lock in those profits for what? Like, you're expecting the market to dip, and then the market ends up seeing just a huge or bigger rally, and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have closed it. That's just normal, right? It's just human psychology. But you have to have a reason when you enter or exit a position. Like, and exiting is, I think, the hardest thing to learn in a bull run. And it's because of the fact of how volatile things can really get. Like, for example, I showed you guys the example on Cardano from 2021 in the previous bull run, right? We saw just an insane rally on Cardano from 3 cents, and the same people here, and I gave this example in the last live stream, but you can see we had the same example, right? So the same consolidation move. We had spot buyers enter this trade. Then they ended up seeing a 3x position. They're like, all right, I'm going to lock those gains in. And they're long-term bags because they thought the market was going to pull back. Market said, nah, screw you. And then we saw Cardano go from, you know, even 13 cents to the highs of nearly like $3. And now you're sitting there. And keep in mind, guys, this was a top 10 market cap coin, right? Now you're sitting there like, oh, I could have retired, I could have done this, I could have done that. And that's the reality of the situation is, if you're in a long-term bag, then long-term means long-term, and an exit means exit. Like, exit to me would be like, for example, like if you're a trader that has like 10 G's, right? So 10K, and you enter a position on Beam. Let's just say, I'm giving examples here, but you enter a position on Beam, and your goal is, no matter what, you don't want to exit this position until it's exactly 100K, because 100K to you is life-changing, right? So that's going to change your life for whatever. So that's your plan. The market starts going up, right? So now all of a sudden your 10K turns into 30K. The biggest mistake a lot of people make is the flipping game. Then they say, okay, wait, if I sell here and the market pulls back, then I can buy 3 times more of my money, and then I'll continue rallying and I'll make that much more. And that's the danger side of things, because the minute you do that, the minute you're going to start chasing your other coins, you're going to start chasing your bank, and then you're going to end up losing everything. So again, if the market ends up showing its hand to your coin, and what I mean by that is, if you have a strong narrative, and like, for example, like Beam, immutable gaming tokens, anything like that, if the market shows its hand and those coins start pumping, when ETH starts pumping, then it's probably best to just sit on your hands and do nothing. And that's why, right? Because yeah, you might get lucky a few times here and there, but when the market actually continues to rip, it's pretty much over for you. So yeah. Where can I buy some bags for Doge? Doge spot positions, you can buy it, I think, on most exchanges, right? Doge is pretty much everywhere. When is the next Shiba video, Flynn? I'll post that ASAP. But if I want to leverage trade, yeah, so no, I'm talking about spot positions. I'm not talking about leverage positions. Leverage positions are a completely different position, right? So leverage position you want to be cautious about. When do you expect volatility to happen before Bitcoin having? No, well, volatility, I mean, the market is volatile. Like, this is considered volatility, right? Like, we're seeing ETH fluctuate like $1,000 every 2 days. Like, to me, that's pretty damn volatile compared to how we had it before. Even Bitcoin, right? We're seeing $6,000-$7,000 positions here and within 2-3 days. Like, I think we're at that point of volatility for sure. And that's why I tell you guys, like, you have to be cautious of your entries. Like, one day makes a huge difference. Like, so, you know, you don't want to necessarily jump ahead and be like, all right, guys, I'm buying this, I'm selling that, whatever. Just if you're in a long-term position, hold the position. That's it. That's the rule of the game. You hold the position. If you have conviction, then there's no reason to sell your spot bags. If you are a leverage trader, then you need to swing at support levels. You cannot swing in midterm supports or random resistance lines. You have to swing properly. Otherwise, you are scalping. That is the only easiest way to make money in this bull market, is to scalp these ranges. And I've talked about this so many times. Is you want to scalp these ranges on the 4-hour time frame, in and out of the trade, and then just sit on your hands. Like, for example, I'll give you the example of Ethereum, right? So the first long position was right here. We ended up seeing a long, and I said, hey guys, first scalp opportunity. This was during the live session. We entered this long position. We profited. We closed. The second long position was right here when I said, hey guys, if 3686 breaks, this is a secondary long into 3683. It's a pretty good trade. Secondary long played out too. We scalped, we closed. We already played the range. We knew that the market was going to test 3683. We were done. We left the zone. The market chopped in between. And now we're in the same sort of case scenario, waiting for confirmation. Once we get confirmation, it's super simple. You just click market long, right? If you don't have confirmation, you're not doing anything. You're literally going to sit on your hands and you're going to wait. I don't care if it takes 5 days. You're going to sit on your hands. You're going to wait. You need to learn to be patient in this market, because if the market ends up seeing a side swipe or Powell's speech or rates come out, now you're riding something like this. Your account's fluctuating 30% up, 20% down. You're going to be like, you know, it's one of those situations where you're not going to sleep at night. You're just going to affect your trading. So me personally, I've actually cut back a lot. You guys have noticed, like in terms of trades too. I post trades when the time comes. Otherwise, I'm not posting any trades, because realistically, like, I can sit here and send multiple 4-hour trade setups, and then my win rate can be 60%, and then you're gonna be like, well, this kind of sucks. Versus, you know, when I send a trade and it plays almost perfectly, it's like, okay, well, great. Like, we have our trade, we're done. You know what I mean? So, can you talk about Pixel? So, Kendall, I talked about Pixel quite a bit. In terms of Pixel as a gaming narrative, like I talked about this, I think Pixel is going to do well in long term. But again, with Pixel, it's one of those coins that it's very low volatility, so it barely has any volume coming in. And I don't think the volume is going to come in until their game comes out. Is it going to be the next Axie? That all is dependent on the game. Personally, to me, I think the market has changed quite a bit. And what I mean by that is, in terms of gaming, people want new and shiny things. So if they try to play it, I know they're trying to play as a next Axie, but it has to be it's a tricky conversation too, right? Because if you go down that road and then let's say, you know, I haven't played the game, I have no idea, but let's just say the normal consumer sees this and like, it's kind of dumb, I don't want to play. Then it just kind of backfires completely, right? But I think in general though, I think Pixel is going to do extremely well, because it's still considered extremely undervalued at 40 mil market cap. I do like them. I do like the coin as well. How can the halving affect BTC? Well, usually halving cycles are bullish, right? So that means that miners are obviously getting 50% less from their mining rewards. So it's seen as a bullish event. So that's why markets usually rally into halvings. And then once halving is complete, you see a corrective move. Everyone becomes bearish. And then we see new all-time high. And that second all-time high after halving is what we call the alt season. And we see these massive, massive gain opportunities. But right now, like I said, I think everyone's jumping too fast ahead, saying like, oh, their predictions and this and that and yada, yada, yada. Like, that's what I tell you guys. Like, if that's how you're going to see the market, you guys need to get into the habit of focusing on what you have in front of you. A lot of you guys focus too much into what is not in your control. And what I mean by that is, you will focus and sit there and say, okay, well, halving's coming, right, Pingu? So I'm going to enter long because the previous halving, this happened and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, realistically, the halving hasn't even happened yet. And at that point you're just trying to grasp air. Like, you're much better sitting, waiting, seeing what the chart tells you, and then going for those positions accordingly. You can, if you're scared of the halving, right? So sometimes people are like, oh man, I'm up so much money, like, should I just close my positions? And yeah, like, why? Well, you don't need confirmation from anyone. If you're up a lot of money, take your profits and move on. Like, it's just how life is. Halving comes back, you see a corrective move, buy back in. If we continue rallying even after the halving, then okay, great. You're gonna have some sort of opportunity or dip opportunity one of these days. You can just buy back. Sure, like, it might be higher, but hey, at least you have confirmation. But is it really higher if you bought in October or last year or January? No, it's not. So that's what I'm saying. Like, be realistic with yourselves and focus on, like, at least what you have in control. Where is your target price for Gala long term? I don't do long terms, but I can talk about Gala. I've been extremely bullish on Gala. I first sent Gala to the chat in Telegram at 0.018. I think Gala is going to be one of those coins that, of course, is going to be overlooked again. And I don't mean that in a way that, oh my God, everyone go all in Gala. No, it's not that what I mean. I do think it's just because Gala is one of those tokens that, of course, had an extreme consolidation and completely oversold, right? So when you have a coin that was this oversold 99% almost, there was bound to be some sort of pullback. The beauty of Gala is if it breaks above structure at 0.076 and the next high pretty much is at 0.16 and then 0.30 cents. I think Gala is going to be, again, because it's a gaming narrative token, it will have its time again. And I've explained how this works in terms of retail psychological, but I'll explain it once again because there's so many of you in this chat. So the way retail psychology works is what people bought back in 2021 is going to be what people think when they hear about Bitcoin again, right? So the minute you start hearing retail, like, and what I mean by retail as in, like, of course, the normies are people that don't focus in crypto or think that crypto's dead and whatever. Those people, if you ask them what they're holding, most of them say, oh, I have some of that Doge coin, some of that Shiba, I have some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I had this coin called Gala. And the reason why Gala, of course, because Gala was one of those altcoins that had such a massive rally that it took the retail world by storm, right? We're talking a coin came out back at 1 cent and had the highs of 82 cents, 82x. People were like, oh my God, Gala nodes and Gala this and Gala that. And then Gala went to shit, right? Gala went down 99%. Everyone got wrecked. And then now people say, oh, Gala's stupid. But from a retail psychological standpoint, Gala, they're going to come back when again, like, and I'm talking now, but before what happened basically was those traders that had Gala, they came back to the market because they started hearing back about Bitcoin. They're like, okay, well, Bitcoin's picking up. Let me go have a look at my bags. They see Gala trading at 2 cents, 3 cents. They're like, oh shit, this thing's still low. And I remember how big this was. I'm going to rebuy back in. And that is exactly what happened. So Gala played like that. Then, of course, you had Shiba as well. Shiba was the same thing, right? Shiba, you can see right now, it was all over TikTok at one point, and it was the same idea. I was like, hey, if Shiba was trading at 9 back here, now if I buy here, maybe when it goes back all-time high, I can make this much money again. And boom, that coin plays out perfectly. So there's opportunities in those markets, right? When you call retail trading or following retail money, you can really make a lot of money from that. And that's why, like, the minute I saw it on TikTok talking about Shiba, I was like, boom, sent in the Telegram. I'm like, yo, guys, long. This is going to be a breakout and it's going to be a squeeze as well. Everything lined up perfectly on that trade and we played it perfectly, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, I think personally, long term, Shiba is going to be one of those coins that normies are going to continue loving and Shiba will continue rallying. There are new people now in the market. Dog with Hat, for example, is a new competitor. Pepe is a new competitor. And these coins comparing to Shiba, you're looking at, in terms of market cap, you're still looking from here, like a 2 billion to, I think Shiba was 21 billion or something, or 25 billion. That's still a 10x gain from here. Like, and I don't see much about these kind of coins other than, the main people that are on this. But that's what I'm trying to say is, like, that's what you have to kind of pay attention to. And these are generational wealth opportunities down here, right? So if you can catch those moves and yada, yada, you get my point. But I'm just trying to say, like, that's why you kind of want to have an open mind when it comes down to retails, right? A lot of people say, oh, retail's so dumb, retail's this, retail's that. But you can follow that money and you can really make a lot of money because A, the setups, you know when to exit, you know when to take profit. Retail just buys and forgets, right? They'll just buy these coins and be like, all right, whatever happens the next 6 months happens. And that's, that's where you start seeing so much volume come in. And you're gonna be like, oh, where else is the money coming from? And that's why, as long as you just catch the right move, if you catch the right move in terms of, Shiba or whatever, like, and then you're chilling. Like, the rest is just, you pretty much just sit on your hands and don't touch it and you'll be continuing to rock those profits. NFT season will start somewhere in while shitcoin pop in. So anytime really as meme coins keep pump, NFT will flow through Yosin. Yeah, no, exactly. I do think, okay, so the thing is about NFT season, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, I'm not well versed. I'm well versed in NFTs, but I wasn't well versed in terms of the previous bull run. I came near the ending almost of the NFT bull run, so I ate shit pretty much the whole way, right? Because I pretty much caught a lot of like ending exit liquidity on a lot of NFTs on the way towards the downside, and then I had the gruesome bear market sitting on these NFTs for a very long time. But the market has shown its hand into what is going to be the next big NFT. We have the pudgies. Pudgies are going to be the next big one, and the market again because of the fact that if you look on OpenSea right now, pudgies have the largest, right, compared to Basey. They flipped the king. Bored Ape was considered the king once upon a time. Pudgies have flipped Bored Ape. So leading into this next bull run, and again with pudgies as well, it's a recognized brand worldwide, right? Like it is recognized worldwide. So that's why I think like in terms of NFTs, when the volume does come back, I think we're going to start seeing some stupid money come in for sure. But the question, of course, is when is that going to happen? At what point in the cycle do NFTs catch a breather? And that's, I think, the hard part, right? You can sit there and analyze Dune analytics and whatever and look at what volume's coming in, yada, yada, yada. But I don't think NFTs are going to see any sort of pump until we start seeing a king or a leader lead NFTs into like stupid money. And what I mean by that is like Bored Apes. When Bored Apes went from whatever the hell they minted at to 100 Ethereum, then the retail normies and the basic like general public was like, oh shit, this monkey picture sold for $400,000. I'm gonna find the next monkey picture, and that's when you saw an NFT bull run, right? And for those of you that were part of that, you guys remember those random, random ugly ass like drawings like this were coming out and were selling for 5, 10, 15 Ethereum because people were going crazy over it. That is NFT bull run in a nutshell. Whether or not the cycle repeats itself, I think that's a question a lot of people have, because it could be seen as altcoins back in 2017, 2018, and then the next rally, of course, was the biggest one. I do think NFTs will always have a point in this market, regardless of how you feel about NFTs. It's not a bad idea to look into them, but I think in terms of how big they can possibly get, I don't think anyone knows the scale of that. And it becomes interesting, right? So the beauty of NFTs is when you buy an NFT, you're also hedging against Ethereum, right? So if you're bullish on Ethereum and you're to an extent, your NFT is of course stable too, right? So it's not just fluctuating 90% down. You buy a blue chip NFT as Ethereum goes up. Yeah, sure, your NFT might go down a little bit, but once the market ends up seeing the liquidity flow back, that's when you start making stupid amounts of money, right? That's why some of these Bored Apes, like, they bought early, and then now all of a sudden their Ethereum is worth 4,000. Now their NFT is worth 150 ETH. They're sitting like $600,000 per monkey. They're going to be like, God damn, like I'm up so much money, right? And that's what I'm saying is that's why the beauty of NFTs, but it takes a while for that to happen, I think. And right now, most market participants are focusing more on meme coins than there are anything else. People just prefer meme coins right now because liquidity, you can be in and out, faster gains. But of course, now I think the market is getting saturated with meme coins. There is just too many meme coins coming out every day. Every 5 minutes, you'll see like hundreds of meme coins. And it's just like, I do think at one point it's going to calm down. You're going to start seeing a lot more pain in the market. And then that's what you might see NFTs come back. Like, and the beauty of NFTs, like again, like, it just happens, right? Like, I remember one day I woke up, like, all of a sudden everything was up 50%. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why? It doesn't need a reason to. It just happens, right? So some people might consider it like, oh, this is considered cheap, I'm buying. So yeah, that's why. That's NFTs in a nutshell. Yeah, so once Gary Vee starts talking about NFTs again, yeah, there's always one guy that leads the pack of monkeys, right? There's always one guy. And yeah, it is true. We'll see what happens though. Like I said, I mean, I have mine listed. Here. My IC, I have it listed at 120. I bought it for 50 ETH. I got an offer for 80, but like I think considerably that's low compared to the floor price. And this is the biggest issue with NFTs, right? Is like the exit strategy. And I think I struggle with this myself is because, okay, you have Bored Apes, right? For example, like Bored Apes are trading at 13 Ethereum. And then you have, like, for example, a golden ape, which is like a real monkey, that sells for 275 Ethereum. Recent times, by the way, like 2-3 weeks ago or a month ago, whatever. Now, You have Pudgies trading at 13 Ethereum, and they're struggling to even hit above 100. There's only been one sale for the IC, which was 150, and I think that was a fluke. I think it's just because no one else had theirs listed, and that one guy had it, and he got the lucky sale. But now you're looking at it from this perspective, and you're saying like, okay, you have 120. You see what I'm saying? Like, how do you price point a rare NFT? Like, it's extremely hard to price point something like that. And that's the downside of NFTs. Like, when you have a rare NFT, you need a specific buyer, and to get a specific buyer, it takes time. So versus a meme coin or an altcoin, you know, you got buyers all day. You can chill, and you know your coin's going to continue going up. You continue rallying, and you're pretty much riding the wave towards the upside. So yeah. Again, that's a problem, right? It's like, yeah, there's times where I wish I was liquid. Like, I wish, you know, of course I was liquid in terms of size, and I could go back into aping a lot of these coins that are fluctuating 30-40%, and then just continue rallying my portfolio upwards. But then there's other times where I realize, like, when the market does end up correcting, like from, you know, like for example, Doge from 19 cents down to 12 cents, and then I look at Pudgies and they're still chilling at the exact same price. I'm like, I'm kind of thankful. Like, I don't have to really stress too much about this market. I really don't, right? Because when you're trading that much, you have to be very cautious too. So that's just something to keep in mind. What do you think of the Reddit stock? I have no idea. Again, like, in terms of stocks, I used to trade stocks a long time ago. I don't really look at stuff anymore. I just kind of focus on crypto mainly now. Even Forex, like some of you guys are probably looking at my tickers and you're like, oh, this guy has Forex too. I used to trade Forex quite a bit too. Kind of got over it too. Like, wow, that's actually a very clean W formation. Look at that on CAD Jap. Look at that. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, just I focus more on crypto because, again, crypto's I've been trading crypto for a very long time, and I feel like I'm a lot more confident in teaching you guys about these market moves in crypto because I've seen almost everything, right? I've seen everything in terms of the charts because of how long I've been doing it. So there's nothing that takes me by surprise where I'm like, holy shit. Like, I get a very good understanding of when things are about to flush or when things are about to be sus. Like, I tell you guys, like, all right, guys, time to exit, time to do whatever. So what about Woo? I recognize Woo. I recognize the ticker. I do remember it. I think it's old, right? Yeah, Woo. Let's see, Woo. Yeah, it is. It's not old. Okay, come on. Like, I mean, okay, so again, just a quick analysis on Woo. It already hit near all-time highs. We're seeing a corrective move. We're on support right now, so it does look like a bullish setup to me, right? This looks like something that is about to go parabolic, but again, it's a new coin, so I don't really analyze new coins for that reason. Is because there any news event, any rug pull, anything like that, and there goes your favorite coin. So yeah, Woo looks good for a setup in terms of a breakout, but yeah. Anyways, I'll talk about Doge. I'll make a video on Doge again. I know it's I made one yesterday. I know you guys love Doge videos. Like, I Doge is literally my most hated video. Like, I get comments in there like just straight up like, oh, you know, you're an idiot, you're like yada yada yada, and I'm like, it's because I give the realistic standpoint from both perspectives. You know, I'm sure if I made a video that said Doge to $5 as clickbait, and then I just said, oh my god, everybody long, this is it, this is a breakout, you missed this chance, like, that video will probably be my best performing video. And the reason why is because it's just monkeys that are going to be watching it, right? I'd rather just not do that. I can do that for sure, but no, I'd rather just continue giving you guys a realistic perspective. So with Doge, I mentioned this in yesterday's video. I'll quickly talk about it, but right now, Doge looks extremely good, right? As long as you're above 0.168, we are in a bullish territory. Doge ends up breaking above 0.19, we go for longs into 0.21. If 0.21 breaks, there's nothing stopping Doge into the 30-cent range. But everything is dependent on 0.168. To me, the only dangerous part of this right now in Doge is this ladder case upwards. I'm not a fan of ladder case upwards, you guys know, because then you have an elevator down and it takes a lot of people by surprise. Same sort of situation happened here. So before you guys jump in and say, oh my god, he's talking about Doge bearish, this is what I warn you guys about multiple times, right? So this is what I call a slow ladder case upwards, right? So you have a beautiful slow ladder case upwards, then you have an elevator down, and it does happen on major resistance. So if Doge ends up hitting 0.21 at this rate like this, so something like this, then yeah, guess what? It's going to be elevator down again. Because you need to see a corrective move before you see any sort of, you know, continuation. It's just how life is. It's how life works. Nothing goes up forever like that. So yeah. Let's see. Yo, hey there, hey guys. Full porting into Doge. No, seriously, Doge, I think long term, like maybe like 6-7 months, I think Doge is gonna perform extremely well. You know, from all-time highs, you have Elon as well that loves Doge. Everything in terms of consolidation breaks. Doge is extremely bullish long term, right? But we have to just be cautious of our entries. That's the only thing. We entered Doge at 0.08. Like, why would I now all of a sudden continue start looking for massive swing positions? I think a lot of people don't understand that is, you know, you can sit there and say, oh my god, Pingu's bearish on Doge, but Pingu was also bullish on Doge at 0.08. We entered a 3x portfolio, like just buying Doge and just sitting on it. So now at this point, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I would rather be more realistic to where price points are going to be, right? Like versus to where we're at right now. So yeah, like it is what it is. I think Doge, if as long as you're above 0.168, we're bullish. The minute 0.168 breaks, though, we're playing back into 0.11. That's the only deciding factor I have right now. That's it. Literally, that's the only thing that's going to change. So, let's see. Yes, they are recorded, DL. Everything's recorded. The reason why they're recorded is no one can say, oh my god, you didn't say that, you didn't call that. They can just go back and be like, boom, it's right there in your face. I record everything. Whenever I talk about something, I record it because I want, you know, I mean, I'm sure I can make a lot of content from this stuff, like, you know, like clips and stuff, and start posting them. I'm lazy, man. Like I don't have that much time. I need a clipper. I need someone that knows how to do this. Like sit there and listen to my live session, like clip. Like I personally can't. You know, I don't have that much time in my life to be doing all that. So yeah. Anyways, in terms of ETH, like I said, we're just waiting for that EMA to play out. Once the EMA retest for a scalping opportunity for that short, quick in and out. Whoops. Now all of a sudden I'm drawing. What the? Whoa, look at that. Yeah, so just something quick in and out, something like this either plays out, or of course you see a break structure, retest, and boom. That's all we're waiting for right now. It's just confirmation, just waiting for confirmation. If we get confirmation of 3683, a break of that, then yes, we all go for the long position into 4028. But if scenario A plays out, you guys are going to be very thankful that I mentioned scenario A, because you'll be exiting a lot of your positions somewhere around here, and you'll be riding back down here, right? So something like that to be playing out. So just, yeah, just like I said, just keep an eye out. I'll post you guys in Telegram, of course. OGN, if this is a new token, this is going to be the last request I'm taking. I don't, okay, Origin, I don't think Origin is a new token. Nope, it's not. Perfect. I mean, I don't know. There's not really much here to analyze, my friend. Like, yeah, it's in a consolidation stage, a very long consolidation stage, right? So like this is again like Filecoin. When you get the breakout, you will enter a long position. That's your breakout zone, 0.39. Any break above that, and I think OGN goes parabolic. But right now would just be a buying opportunity at these levels. I don't know enough about Origin Protocol. And again, like I don't sit there and look at fundamentals and stuff. But if there are fundamentals that are coming up, then yeah, you can easily play this into something like that. It does look good to me, right? From a consolidation standpoint, these are things that you want to look out for, but I don't know enough in terms of the fundamentals to be sitting there and telling you like, okay, go buy it. Yeah. Can you record your live chat? I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can record my live chat. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know how to do that actually. I don't even think that create highlight video, insert add stream marker, share. Yeah, I don't know. I think there is a way. I've seen people do it before, like on live streams. But I don't have. I mean, I don't know why would you want to look at the chat anyways? Like it's just questions in here, right? It's just the mainstream is a mainstream. That's why I repeat questions. So in case you're watching, like you don't know why I'm talking about it, I'll always repeat questions for you guys so you guys understand. But yeah, so. Is everybody on the same page right now? Are we all good? Do you guys have any more questions? I don't know what time we're at. 47 minutes. Yeah, we're going to end this soon. Do you guys have any more questions you guys want to talk about, or is everyone good? And then I'll end it there. Like I said, I just do these real quick just to give everyone a perspective. Yeah, no problem, Ian. I got you. Anyone else? You guys good? Everyone good? Everyone okay? I will make a Shiba. I'll do Shiba first. I'll do Shiba first. Shiba will be first, and then we'll do everything else after. Can you look at Injective? I'll just do Injective real quick. I actually had a chart pulled up on Injective. Let me see real quick. Injective, yeah, this is, I mean, Injective, it's a new coin. I don't really want to talk about it, but regardless, I know this is all over, like, you know, CT and everything, like, so this is a very tight consolidation, I think, in Injective. So you have something like this. So yeah, like this is your range right now. 45 break, you long. Anything below 31, you short. That's your range. Anything else in between, just wait. I don't suggest trading the chops. Just sit on your hands, be patient, you'll be fine. So yeah. Let's see, last one, AVAX real quick. I'll just, no, you know what, I won't do AVAX. I'll post a Telegram update on AVAX because I know it's been a little bit, so I will post a Telegram update on AVAX. I'll do one on AVAX, and I think someone else asked for another thing. Nope, I think we're good. Okay, cool. So yeah, okay, all right guys, have a good day. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys in the near future again. I'll make Hbar first. That's what I was trying to say. I'll make Hbar first, and then we'll go from there.